What's going on, guys? This is Oliver, formerly from Response AI and a few other tools that I've since exited. In this video, I'm going to be creating a full CRM from scratch using Gemini, Cursor, and Supabase for the back end and showing you exactly how to do it. So if I just refresh the page, you've got this beautiful landing page for the software called Lumina. You've obviously got like pretty polished, kind of nice looking UI here for the design for the landing page. You've got little fields here for the steps you take, and then pricing, etc., frequently asked questions, that kind of thing. We're going to head up and click Start Free Workspace, and we're going to sign in. You can also create an account if you want. I'm going to sign in with my credentials and sign in. So as you can see here, we've got a beautiful little dashboard here with the pipeline value, the active deals, the win rate of those deals, and then pipeline value in a chart. You've got tasks, which we're going to create in a second. You've got a pipeline with stages of new, contacted, qualified, negotiation, closed, etc., with the names of the leads, the tags, the deal sizes, companies, etc. You've got the list of leads here with all the tags. You can delete or restore leads and add them to specific lists. Billing and settings, etc. Pretty boring stuff. But from here, let's start with the tasks. So you can go into a new task and say follow up with, let's say, Steve. He needs to sign the contract. We're going to say the priority is high, the status is to do, and the due date for this, let's put it as tomorrow. And let's say related leads, and you can actually, I can't see the screen, sorry, let's say it's Bill Townsend. So let's change it to, follow up with Bill. So from here, we're going to create the task. And now we've got a task in here with a high priority, and it is added to Bill Townsend. If we go into the pipeline, you'll see that Bill also has a task here. You can go into the lists and add new deals, or you can add new leads. So if we go into the pipeline here, we are going to, or go into list, sorry, what should we do here? Pipeline, new deal, new task, or let's go to dashboard and click add lead. We go into add new lead. Steve Evans, company would be Steve Evans Consulting. Email is, let's just say steve@gmail.com. The value, let's say that the deal is, say, $2,000. That he's currently in negotiation, and let's say the tags are warm intro, referral, and lead. And we're going to save the lead. It increases the pipeline value, and it adds Steve to our pipeline as well. So where's Steve here? Steve is in negotiation. You can also import leads from a CSV. So if we go into this test CSV with all the names and stuff, we're going to download it as a CSV. We are now going to head back over into Lumin and import. We're going to choose the file. We are going to click test CSV, pop it in, and now you just map the leads names and stuff. So full name is full name, email, company, value is value, and then we are going to add it to a target list called create new list, example, and we are going to add it to that list and import. Now it's going to say that we've successfully imported 15 leads, and as you can see, all of these new leads have been added as well. And inside the lists, you've got the example list. So this is just a great sort of beginner, and our pipeline is huge now, which is cool. You can also export all the data, etc. So I'm going to show you guys how to build this in a second, and let's get started. Okay, guys, so the first thing we're going to do is build a PRD, so a product research document, or product requirements document for the actual app itself. So what we're going to do first is create the PRD for the CRM. So let's say create me a detailed, extremely beautiful PRD for a simple CRM app. The app should be minimalist, glassy, into style, thin and small font, beautiful tabs and pipeline management, pretty drag and drop Kanban cards in the pipeline tab should allow users to upload a list of leads, should allow users to save new leads and create leads as new, should allow users to delete, etc. Should have billing, settings page, dashboard with pretty analytics, pretty pipeline, a lists tab with lead lists, and whatever else you feel is required of a simple CRM. I want the app to be beautiful, like Attio, linear, etc. Thin font, thin lines, lots of white space, lots of beauty. And I want to allow users later on to set up backend with Supabase. Create this PRD and make it at least 3,000 words with emphasis on design, functionality, animations, and beautiful styles of loading, beautiful icons, etc. So guys, the PRD has loaded based off of that prompt, right? And I'm going to put that prompt in the description, so don't worry. The CRM app is designed for small teams and solo founders who want to build a simple, elegant, highly functional tool for managing leads, etc. So analytics, activity feed, quick actions, Kanban board, columns, card details, animations, lead lists, etc. Right. It's done the design as well. It's sorted out the back end for us, or at least like the general overview of the back end. And I'm going to head over into Gemini AI Studio and just paste this in. So let's actually just click build on that. Okay guys, so let's have a look at the first sort of run through of the dashboard. So immediately what I'm noticing is that I don't really like the sort of AI slop style of this dashboard. So it's just going to take one or two little, changes to the dashboard itself to make it look beautiful. So let's go. We've got the dashboard itself, which has conversion rates, revenue, active leads, etc., and then recent activity, which is good. You've got a pipeline with a working pipeline stage Kanban board. So this is pretty cool. You've got lists. So it's a beautiful list sort of like deck here. Billing as well, which looks pretty cool, and then settings with no other working tabs. So let's actually go over to the dashboard and decide what we don't like about this design. So I am going to say leave full screen. Thanks, but I don't like the AI slop style of the dashboard. I think we could use more white space. Majority white, grey, black, etc. Attio style, linear style, less radius of edges. So you see how like it's kind of like sloppy when there's like rounded edges. I much prefer square edges. Square edges instead. Less blue, more white, black, grey. Adding images for inspiration here. So I'm going to head over to Dribble. Going to look up UIs. I'm just going to decide on some UIs that I like. So I quite like this one here. So I'm going to copy this image. Going to post that one in. I'm now going to look up Attio. So let's get some Attio designs in here. So that looks pretty nice. Copy image, this one, and I'm just going to send the prompt. Okay guys, so it has completed the rehash of the design, and as you can see here, it actually ran into its own scope error, which it then analyzed and corrected itself. So as you can see, all of the updated files are here. If I go into full screen now, you can see that it is a lot prettier, right? In my opinion, I don't like the sort of blue AI slop and like the neon colors of the last one. Pipeline looks gorgeous as well. It's like very minimalist. Lists, etc., billing, settings, that's absolutely fine, right? So what we're going to do now is I'm actually just going to set at the back end. So what I'm going to do is save this to GitHub. So repository name can be CRM YouTube and test for YouTube. And we're just going to set that up as private and create the GitHub repo. It's going to ask you to stage and commit all the changes, so we're going to do that as well. I'm actually going to take the URL of the GitHub repository, click clone repo, and then paste this in. I'm going to select as repository destination is just, my files. I'm going to open this up. And here it is. So as you can see now, I'm just going to run it on localhost or just start a new terminal. I'm going to try and just, run npm run dev, right? It's unlikely that it's going to work. So I'm going to ask cursor instead. So, well, let's say npm install. I don't know if this is going to do anything, to be honest, but it's just to double check that all of my bits and bobs have been downloaded. Now it has added 112 packages, which is great. I think because we're on Vite, it won't work, or there it is. So we are on localhost 3000. So let's head over to localhost. I'm going to say localhost 3000. Okay, so the localhost did load, but it was actually initially blank. So what I said was localhost is blank for some reason, and there's no logs. So it basically said that because we got it from Google AI Studio, the index HTML, which was just like the app itself kind of thing, it was pointing to a CDN from Google, right? So basically I said, okay, we'll fix this, and now we have the dashboard. Okay, so here's what we're going to do now. We are going to set up Supabase. So let's head over to Supabase. Going to head over to project name, and we're going to say CRM for YouTube. Database password can be whatever. Create new project. Now that we've done this, I'm just going to head over and get the API key. Project URL. And I'm going to say is my let's set up Supabase now for user authentication, managing SQL and backend, managing the UI itself so users can use the entire app with backend functionality, and allow privacy so only users can see their own data. Now what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to say here is the PRD that built the app so you can govern the SQL needed for all the functionality, e.g. pipeline, saving leads, dashboard, etc. Also, create a basic landing page and auth screen for creating an account and logging in. And this should be set up so Supabase manages it. Next thing I'm going to do is get the API key. I'm going to say is my API key. And what we're going to do now is head over to the PRD that we built and say the PRD for my CRM app, and we're going to post this in. Okay guys, so we are back. We're going to keep all. So a lot happened here, okay? There was a really massive chunk of code that was created, code that was deleted, etc. So it says to run the SQL code. So what we're going to do, the SQL code, guys, is basically just like the skeleton of the back end. So if we head over to the Supabase dashboard and go over to SQL editor, I am going to run this SQL code. There is a lot of SQL. Now we're going to run the query. It says no rows returned, so go to table editor. As you can see here, we've got all of these different tables. What we're going to do is go into project settings and then go down to authentication. I'm going to say confirm email off and then save changes. So this is so that people can log in and log out easily, right? I'm going to, can I save this and just set it up? Okay, so it looks as though it has created the dashboard, or the landing page at least, right, on localhost. And it is very funny because there's absolutely no data here. It is literally just this page. You can't scroll, right? So obviously this is a really terrible landing page and we're going to get started on designing it better. But if we click get started, you are taken to the authentication and we can set up a full name. Let's set up the email as obert5569, whatever it may be, password, and then we're going to create the workspace. So it has created the workspace now, and as you can see, you've got empty dashboard, an empty pipeline, empty lists, billing, and settings, etc. Right? So let's test this out. So the dashboard, let's add a lead. So I'm going to say Steve Jones, company with, let's say, SJ Consulting. It's all pretty similar to my past test from a different app. So Steve at, let's just change that. So SJ, we're going to say the value is $10,000. The stage is that they are qualified. And the tags, let's say, for example, let's just use this from a different test. So save lead. So as you can see, our pipeline value is $10,000. We've got active deals 1, win rate is 0%. Let's head over to our pipeline. As you can see, Steve is in our qualified pipeline. Now, if we head on over to the dashboard, let's go over to the table editor. If we go into leads, we've got a prior lead from a previous test, and we've got Steve Jones, right? So SJ Consulting, 10,000 qualified, etc. And it says that he's in the qualified stage. List leads, there's none. Lists, there's none. Activities, none. Invoices, none. Leads, subscriptions, profiles. So as you can see, I've got a profile here. Well, there's 2 profiles from one of the test. And I'm going to head over now and test this out. So what if I move Steve to negotiation? So it looks like everything is fine now. So let's just refresh the page to make sure that worked. And he's still in negotiation, which is great. I'm going to head over to the leads and see what pipeline stage he's in. So it still says he's in qualified, which is really interesting. There we are. So I just had to refresh the page. So Steve is now in negotiation, which is great. So it looks as though what you can do now is you can create leads. The leads and the pipeline value are inside the active deals, right? And the overview. Let's add another lead. And let's say Jamie Evans, Co. Let's say that his email is je@jeco.com. Let's say that his value is, let's say, for example, 2,000, and the stage is contacted, and tags is cold lead, some interest or interest, and let's save lead. So now what's great is you've got the calculation of the pipeline value. And if we refresh the page just to make sure that it's all good, you've got a perfect pipeline value. You've got the active deals too, and then inside the pipeline, Jamie is in contacted or negotiation, right? Inside the lists, we've got 2 leads, and with the tags, it looks beautiful. I don't really like that black chunk there. And then obviously you've got settings and billing that doesn't change. So the dashboard itself is looking pretty good, right? So I'm going to head back over to the PRD. I'm going to say, now that this is done, make me a functionality PRD for the next few features. A to-do list with tasks, priority of tasks, and the leads from our system that the tasks include or concern. I can't spell. Let's say the next thing is import leads, export leads. So users can upload a CSV of leads with simple data. Let's say value, full name, email, company, and upload the CSV as long as the headers work, or maybe set up functionality to create a matcher. So user uploads a CSV, chooses the columns, then the data is mapped from CSV and the leads are imported to their lead list. What else should we add, guys? So you've got import leads and export leads. You've got a to-do list, which is going to look beautiful. We can already add and change leads and delete leads. Oh, we actually can't delete leads. We cannot delete leads yet from the pipelines or lists. So make sure we add that. And let's say also creating save lists doesn't work right now because we don't have functionality to save specific selected leads to a list. What else can we do now? If we say, no, we'll actually just save it like that. So now create this CRD, PRD, a to-do list with tasks, import leads, export leads. Here's a focus functionality. So, okay, so it's an absolutely giant PRD here. So I'm just going to pop this in, head back over to Supabase, keep all, thanks. Now I'll implement these new features from my next PRD. We have a to-do list, functionality for tasks and for uploading CSVs. Make sure the backend works for this, among other things. And we're going to paste that in and we're going to click send. And I will skip ahead, guys, until this is done. Okay, so it ran again for a long time. And by the way, guys, this is not costing much. It's costing pennies at a time. I'll explain at the end how much all of this is costed, but it's going to be less than a couple of dollars, basically, single-digit dollars. So basically, everything has stayed the same except settings and billing. So keep all. I'm now going to pop in, if I just restart the server, npm run dev. Right, so we are back to the dashboard. And I am going to just add a new lead to double check this. So let's say Louise Evans, L Evans co, L Evans at elco.com. The value we can say is 2,400. Stage is qualified. Tags is cold from LinkedIn, and just click save lead. It's now added the correct pipeline value, which is great. Louise is now also inside the pipeline, which is great. Now we're going to go to lists, and she's here. And we've now also added a delete lead feature. So you can click delete lead, and you can delete Louise. And if you go back to the dashboard, Louise is gone. She's gone from the lists and she's gone from the pipeline, which is awesome. Now, here comes the tasks test. So we've got a sort by due date, a search task, and then all of these different tabs. So I'm going to go to new task. That looks pretty clunky, but it's okay. I'm going to say follow up with Steve about contract. Steve needs to sign. Let's say priority is high, status is to do, and due date is, does this work? Yeah, it does. We're going to say the 30th, and then the related leads. Let's say Steve, and look, it actually searches for the lead, and we're going to click create task. So now if we refresh the page, we've got a follow up with Steve about contract. If you go into the CRM, go to tasks, and as you can see, we've got a new task inside the dashboard for the user. What I'm going to do now as well is test out the list creation. So, okay, so we can select these two, save to list, and we're going to save it to founders test. And as you can see over here now, you've got the two leads in founders test. We've actually also got the leads that we've deleted inside the trash, which is so cool, right? What we're going to do now is just double check that we can move leads to the pipelines. I'm going to refresh, and that's working. Tasks is working, dashboard is working, and now here's what we need to do. So I'm going to try and click export. Nothing happened still, so we're going to do the export as well. But if we go to tasks pipeline, I'm going to create a sheet, and we're going to test the hardest feature that I've built so far, which is the lead import. So I'm going to say full name, email, company, stage, and then let's just say that. So let's say Phil Roberts, and let's add his brother, Dave Roberts. Let's say Phil at xyzco.com. Let's add his brother's email, Dave at xyzco.com. His company is xyzco. His company is xyzco. And let's say the stage is contacted and contacted. And let's just make sure that is both that, whatever. I'm hoping that if we do this and say test, going to export this as a CSV. Now I'm going to head over to Lumen, I'm going to import, I'm going to drag the CSV in. Let's just actually choose it. We've got the mappings. Let's see if this works. So full name is full name, email is email, company is company, value is ignore for now, duplicate handling, target list, no list. Oh, we can say, let's add it to founders test, which is great. And then let's click import. Okay. So as you can see, guys, we've got the list here, which is great. Obviously, it has no pipeline value. And it also doesn't have any tags, but that's okay. We can obviously change that inside the CSV. We can also see here actually that there's a task involved from that lead, involving that lead, which is great. So I think, to be honest, guys, I think I'm done here. I think in general, if we go back to the dashboard, I'm now also going to give you guys the prompt to create a beautiful landing page. So if we head back over to the PRD, thanks. Now can you give me a gorgeous design PRD for the UI and whole for the landing page? I will give you images from pretty landing pages interstyle, minimalist, glassy, lots of pretty animations, etc. And then you can create the PRD for the landing page of the CRM. So I'm going to head back over to Attio, or back over to Dribble, sorry. I'm going to type in landing page. And let's find some landing pages that we like. I'm going to just choose this one. Just copy this image in. Wrong tab. Attio landing page to linear factory.ai, etc. Lots of movement and animations and pretty background textures like grids, etc. We're going to copy this. Thanks. Finally, can you please design the landing page so it is beautiful? Here is the PRD. Now, I'm going to do something experimental, guys. I'm actually going to choose Gemini 3 Pro for this because the design is so beautiful. Actually, I'm going to use Claude 4.5 Opus High because it's the new model and it's as cheap right now as the normal Claude model. So I'm going to click send and it's going to design our landing page for us. Right, guys, let's see how this landing page looks. It wrote something like 2,000 lines of code. So I'm just going to head over to the... Okay, guys, so I am on the landing page and it looks absolutely insane. So as you can see, the agent actually wrote something like 1,500 lines of code. And as you can see, a CRM that you want to open, you've got the sort of like animated... This is completely from scratch, the animated dashboard kind of like animation here. You've got first sign up to lead, you've got the designs here, you've got the, this is kind of like blank here, but every screen thoughtfully designed, and then you've obviously got like the pipeline boards and stuff like that. You've got a animated like testimonials timeline, which is awesome. You've got the steps here, so upload CSV, map fields, pipeline ready, simple transparent design, and then start your workspace. And you've also got an FAQ, which is unreal. So you click start for free, it sends you to the auth, which is insane. So that is crazy. And I'm going to end the video there. And obviously at the start of the video, you might see some changes because I've just done some little like touch-ups here and there, but take care.